Hey, how's it going? So today in this video I want to show you a trick called 808 glides, and this is basically taking your 808 bass and adding a little bit of movement to it. You probably hear it a lot in songs. It's pretty popular. It's pretty popular nowadays, and it kind of just adds more movement and more character to your bass lines, especially your 808s. So I'm going to show you how to do this today. I've already pulled in a little drum loop that we're just going to use so that we can create our bass line, so we have something to follow. And you can get these drums too, by the way. It's on it from my pack called Dumb Dirty Drums, and you can get this. I'll leave a link down below if you're interested. Okay, so anyways, here's our drums. Alright, so I'm going to pull up a stock Ableton plugin just so we can keep this simple and native to the program. We will be using a simpler, and what we're going to do is find an 808 sample that we like. I'm really just going to use anything in this case. This isn't necessarily the sound. We're not going to be too picky on the sound. We kind of just need something for this example. So since we're in F, we're going to have to tune it down to make sure that it's in C, so that everything we play on the keyboard is going to correlate properly. So we're going to warp this, and we're going to put it to complex. And if you don't know what that does, that time stretches it so that each note that I play is going to go along with the global BPM, which is right up here. We're at 140. And what we're going to do is, usually with bass, we don't want too much movement. We don't want overlapping of the notes, because the bass, the lower end of the frequency spectrum, is super sensitive, so we don't want things overlapping with each other because they'll just tend to clash and create a lot of muddiness. So we want one voice going at a time, which means this is in mono. Boom, mono. So now when I play, different notes, it's not going to overlap with each other. It'll cut out the other one. Okay. So we're in F. So how many semitones down is F to get to C? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to go down 5 semitones right here in transpose. And now that's a C. We're hitting C and we're getting C, and that's what we want. We're just going to make something up. Just anything works right now. Let's turn this down because we're super high up there. I don't know what that was, but it works. So let's just quantize all these. I'm going to do 100%. What you're seeing now is basically each of these notes are taking turns, right? Once I hit another note, the other note gets cut off right away. So what we want to do with these glides is basically having the transition between note to note go a little bit smoother and kind of like slide its way in. How it's like do do do. It's automatically cutting the previous note off. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here, we're going to turn glide on, and we're going to change the timing a little bit. The timing is basically how long the note is going to be sliding for. So if you have it down lower, see how it was like doo doo doo, and it slowly slid into it. If you have it longer, it's going to, it's basically going to take more time sliding into the next note. And something that helps when you're doing notes that glide into each other is if you take them and you just pull them off time a little bit so that they basically overlap with the previous note more. And what I mean by that is, see how this note starts right on the down? If you pull it back just a little bit, it's going to give it more time to slide in. We can make it even more drastic. And you just got to mess with these timings to see what it does. Okay, so also there's multiple settings to this. Off means that the note is going to cut the previous note off if you have it in one voice. If you had multiple voices, it would just overlap and play multiple at the same time, and you don't want that with the bass, like I said, because the low end, you just want one thing going at a time. And what portamento means is basically on each striking note right on the down, it's going to be at full velocity again. If you noticed in the glide how it started, the notes started getting a little bit weaker as they slid into each other. It's because it's going off of one velocity and going straight down the sample. So like if you notice that this sample just continuously goes from left to right if you have it on glide, so when it switches over to another note, it's not going to hit at the beginning transient of the sample. It's just going to keep going. See how that note was not as powerful? What we're going to do is we're going to turn this to portamento, and what portamento does is it brings it back to the beginning of the sample on each MIDI note that you hit. So check this out. And if you notice, now it's starting at the beginning of the sample, but this timing is really fast, so you're not really noticing the slides as much. And if I start to bump this up, let's see if we can bring this down more. Let's bring it down an octave. Yeah, so you kind of get the point. There's other ways to do 808 glides. This is one way to do it. This way you have a little bit, I feel like, less control. There's another way that you can do it, that you can make kind of your notes glide for even longer and kind of sustain, and you can kind of control the timing a little bit more, so I'm going to show you that right now. Okay, so in this next way, what we're going to do is we are going to take, you can click down over here to kind of open up your envelopes, and what we're going to do is we're going to be controlling the pitch bend on each individual note in your scene. So say you want to glide this note right here that I've highlighted. Okay, so you can take, say, halfway through this note, you want it to start gliding, and you want it to glide up just a little bit, and this is what we have. You hear that? Wow, it has like that swelling noise. You can do it. This is what I mean by you can control the timing a little bit more. If you want it to be more drastic, you can turn that up. And you can do this on all your notes. I mean, like, this takes a little bit longer because the other one's kind of easy where you can just plug in notes and you can have it glide from one note to the other. This one, you can go in and basically kind of surgically do it and affect it exactly how you want it to. So, like, say this note, I want it to start right here in the middle of the note and, like, slide it down. Obviously, that doesn't sound very good and doesn't really correlate with the song, but you see what I mean by you can really go in and dive in and adjust each individual note if you wanted to. Like this, you don't even have to do the beginning or the end of the notes or any notes into other notes. You can control each note the way you want it to. So say halfway, you want it to start from the beginning of this note, but you want it to glide in the middle and then come back down, like you can. This way you can have control over a lot of things, and this is basically just modulating your pitch bend wheel that is on your keyboard, but this is automating it. This is going in and drawing in the different design curves that you want to. So I hope that was helpful. It's a way to kind of spice up your 808s and make them a little bit more unique. I didn't exactly pick the right sounds and all that in this example, but you can see what you can do with it and take it and use it in your own production. So I hope that was helpful. If you found that helpful, please hit subscribe, hit like, everything helps, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace out.